Color Television by Armand Vahab. What if a rivalry between two television networks could completely change the way Americans experienced entertainment in their own living rooms? In the 1950s, color television was an up and coming concept being popularized by all the famous broadcasting companies like NBC, National Broadcasting Company, and CBS, Columbia Broadcasting System. Due to television's emergence as America's main source of entertainment and one of the main pastimes for Americans, NBC and CBS both realized that if they controlled the color television market, they would also control the revenue from advertising, programming, and potentially a majority of color films from major studios that could be broadcasted on their network. NBC and CBS both wanted to monopolize the market, causing a legal feud between the nation's two largest broadcast networks over ownership and adoption of color television standards. NBC and CBS made an abundance of money from broadcasting their programs in color and gained even more money from the chasing of advertisers wanting ads in color and filmmakers with color films to put on their programs. Their feud required intervention from the Federal Communications Commission, or the FCC, which ultimately led to a Supreme Court ruling that forever changed American entertainment. The feud between CBS and NBC over the standardization of color television technology revolutionized American broadcasting and transformed the entertainment industry, challenging existing black and white media standards and reshaping consumers' views on entertainment. In the period following World War II, the United States experienced major economic growth, leading to more spending from consumers on entertainment, and by the late 1940s, black and white television entered American culture. The Cold War also pushed the United States to show their advancement in technology from their competitors like the Soviet Union, and was used by politicians as a way to talk about United States leading technologically against everybody else and showing dominance over others, which encouraged companies like NBC and CBS to fight aggressively over the television standards, as whoever controlled the standards got the rights to national influence and massive profits. As the potential for color television technology emerged, television manufacturers who benefited from falling prices associated with black and white TVs and black and white TV production grew concerned by the potential costs and the existing markets for color television. CBS and NBC feuded over color television in the late 1940s and early 50s because both networks supported and backed a different color TV system. They wanted their respective technology to become the national standard of the United States. CBS, led by engineer Peter Goldmark and CBS president Frank Stanton, advertised a mechanical color system that produced color but was not compatible with existing black and white TVs, while NBC, on the other hand, alongside its parent company RCA, led by David Sarnoff, promoted an electronic system that was compatible with older or current existing sets, black and white or color. Their feud was centered on whether new innovation or compatible technology should be the guide for the future of television. The FCC became involved in the feud because of the Commission's responsibility for approving a single national broadcast standard to prevent any sort of technical chaos and to protect consumers. Initially, the FCC approved CBS system, but in 1953 reversed its decision and sided with NBC, adopting their standard and shaping the future of American television. The feud between NBC and CBS revolutionized the entertainment and technology industries. It accelerated technological innovation and changed industry standards and changed the way that many people viewed and experienced television. There was also an enormous amount of economic gain and growth behind winning the feud, as the company who won would be able to attract more advertisers and production companies, and they would attract more viewers. After CBS won the standard in the 1950s while producing the TVs, CBS had to stop production abruptly due to the Korean War. The Korean War made it hard for CBS to get the right materials to start production, and later the materials needed for their TVs were banned from being used in TVs because the National Protection Authority, due to the materials being needed for use in the war, denied them from using those materials. CBS direly needed these materials, such as special adapters and new equipment, and they struggled to make sales during this wartime. While RCA and NBC continued to make changes and refine their system behind the scenes. Because of the war, CBS and their positioning was weakened, leading to RCA and NBC presenting a more practical solution to the FCC. This shift and change led to the FCC reversing their decision and giving NBC the standard, which accelerated a technological revolution that permanently transformed American broadcasting. The feud between two companies helped speed up the nation's transition from black and white to color, and once color broadcasting became more and more mainstream, companies upgraded and changed their production costs and their cameras and technology, such as production equipment and filming technology, learning from their former competition, color films, which permanently changed the industry as a whole. Although NBC's color television technology was ultimately accepted by the FCC and became the industry standard, color television sales remained slow. CBS, who had the standard initially, marketed their TVs the moment they won the feud and started producing their TVs to sell for $1,000, but by the end of their first year sold only 5,000 sets. Due to slow sales, they lost the standards in the end due to their system not being compatible with existing TVs and trying to force consumers to buy their own color televisions. RCA NBC, under David Sarnoff, to try and boost sales, bought Disneyland, the show, from ABC, who at the time were making half of the entirety of the network's profits from the show alone. With smart purchases of shows such as Disneyland and showing such shows on color, NBC were able to capture a new set of consumers and were able to start booming their business from there, leading to extensive amount of economic gain. Over the next 3 decades, color television became both the norm and the mandate for the entertainment industry. As a result of the feud between NBC and CBS, federal broadcasting standards were more regulated and unified. As television became a part of American culture, it also influenced advertising, culture, and politics, such as the Nixon versus Kennedy presidential debate, where Kennedy won due to his appearance on TV being much more appealing and strong compared to his opposing candidate, Nixon, who, though was verbally stronger, wasn't up to par physically, which changed American history. Or live scenes coming from the Vietnam War to American households showing bloodied and brutal ground. There are also downs, such as the introduction of terrorism.
The number one unintended consequence of the television revolution of the color and satellite and global live TV is terrorism. Is nobody thought that being able to have a camera live around the world, bad guys would.
Terrorists realized that they could get their message out to the entire world by committing crimes on live TV or hijacking planes. This led to terrorism being an unexpected long term consequence of the feud itself.
In some ways, terrorists realized that they can communicate to people instantly, hundreds of millions of people, and by taking over TV. And so suddenly in the early 1970s, you have terrorists at the 1972 Olympics in Germany. You have hijacked planes left and right. People start hijacking planes.
The introduction of terrorism showed people that the feud meant more than two companies illustrating the standard and trying to control the standard in the market. And it didn't just influence profit margins, but it also influenced national culture itself. The battle between NBC and CBS over color television and its standard was more than just a rivalry or a fight for profits. It was a revolution. A revolution that changed the American entertainment industry forever. It was also an evolution, however. What began as competing mechanical and electronic systems gradually developed into a unified national standard that laid the foundation for modern broadcasting. Each setback, failed test, and public demonstration pushed engineers to refine their technology further, transforming television from a black and white novelty into a vibrant, immersive experience.
Are you all set, Bob? Take it away in full spectrum color.
Well, Doug, first I'd like to say this, that I feel doubly honored to have been chosen to be the first one involved in our big change, because there are so many much more colorful characters around here than this reporter.
Transition didn't happen overnight. It unfolded, step by step, as innovation replaced limitation and experimentation, which led to ever long lasting advancement. Years of testing, public demonstrations, and technological adjustments were necessary before a reliable, safe, and widely accepted system emerged. Compatibility beat quality. What began as a corporate rivalry gradually became a turning point that modernized broadcasting standards across the nation. The feud not only pushed for technological innovation, but it helped reshape and reform the entertainment industry and forever changed how people in America experience television and entertainment, proving that competition can not only drive progress on a market level, but on a national scale.